I could barely stay awake through my classes. Even with Grandma Jeannie's strange warning ringing in my ears, making me scared of the trees outside the school window, I kept yawning. I didn't raise my hand for any questions. I couldn't even follow along when we were reading aloud, which turned out to be okay because the more I kept my head down, the less people seemed to stare at me. It was like they'd forgotten I'd existed, or else me being new wasn't so interesting anymore. Vanessa was waiting for me at lunch, though she didn't seem to have a tray. I set down my tray of gross food, some frostburned old lasagna, beside her. I still hadn't figured out how to eat vegetarian here. Maybe once my mom settled in, I'd ask her to pack me a lunch. Until then, I was going to have to make do with a bag of chips that, according to the numbers at the bottom, had expired last month. How was the lunch here even legal? I wouldn't eat any of that, Vanessa warned when I sat down. How do you survive? I asked. She smiled and pulled out her lunchbox. Inside there were two of everything: two sandwiches, two bags of chips, two bananas, and four chocolate chip cookies. I asked my aunt to pack extra, Vanessa explained. She paused when handing me the sandwich. That's okay, right? I don't mean to be rude by assuming. I didn't know what made me feel warmer, the fact that she thought of bringing me food or the fact that she was worried it might hurt my feelings. No, thank you so much. I felt myself blushing. I didn't think anyone would do anything that nice for me ever again. Something about the new town made me feel like nice things just didn't happen here, except Vanessa. She was the only good thing in this place. Vanessa smiled and began eating her own sandwich. It was cheese and a bunch of vegetables, and the cookies were definitely homemade. My aunt likes making food for people, she said, and she was so happy to hear I'd made a new friend. I heard her talking on the phone to one of her friends. She was worried I was never going to make friends here. But you seem so cool. Like you own the school? She shrugged and took a bite of her cookie. I'm not popular. People are just intimidated by me. So they leave me alone. You're the first person who feels like an equal. Like we could really be friends. Her smile came back. I'm glad you moved here, Josie. It's been lonely. I couldn't tell her I was glad I'd moved too, because that would be lying, and I knew better than to do that. Where are you from? I asked instead because I realized she knew everything about me and I knew nothing about her. She was the one who had asked all the questions yesterday. It was definitely the wrong thing to ask. Her smile disappeared, and I immediately felt bad. She didn't answer. Instead, she changed the subject and started talking about the English homework from yesterday and how it was totally unfair that some of the teachers were already doing quizzes. I agreed. When she asked me questions about Anna or my grandma, I answered like I didn't feel weird that she'd ignored my own question. I yawned a couple times. On the fourth, she giggled. Am I that boring? No, I'm sorry. I didn't sleep much. Bad dreams? I shook my head. No, my sister slept in my room. She's scared of the woods. Vanessa looked at me for a bit. I couldn't tell what she was trying to discover. There's nothing to be scared of in the woods, she said. Her voice sounded different, flat, like she was reciting a line from a story she'd read but didn't believe. It's just trees and animals. She's probably just scared because it's a new place, I said. Vanessa nodded. Then she asked me more questions about Chicago and what my friends were like and what I did for fun. I tried asking her a few more things, but she never answered them. Maybe she just didn't like talking about herself. A couple of my friends back home were like that too. especially the ones whose parents were getting divorced or who had other problems. I didn't want to push it. If Vanessa stopped talking to me, life would be horrible. Without her, the school would be just as scary as the woods. At the end of the day, I found a note up folded inside my locker. Stay away from Vanessa Graves. There was no signature. I looked around, wondering if maybe someone was playing a prank, but no one was paying me any attention. I crumpled up the note. Someone was just jealous that I was friends with the coolest girl in school, and I wasn't going to let them scare me away from her.
Please like the video and share it with your friends. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon.